I don't know.
A few topics. We talked about this earlier, but I think Nico Hasler has the right fullback locked down. I talked about this in my column a little bit today. Do you go with Beitashour or do you go with Hasler moving forward?
I would watch the next 3 games and then make the call. I couldn't commit to one right now, I don't think. I certainly think Hasler, for me, if the playoffs started tomorrow, I would think that Hasler is the guy who gives me what TFC need, which is probably going to be an ability to break teams down, particularly when they're playing at home. Maybe you split them and give Beitashour the away leg of games, I don't know. But I would be leaning Hasler, but I'm going to hedge my bets on that and see what happens the last 3 games.
The other one we talked about a little bit was Zavaleta and Haglund. I think you're going to want to see Greg Vanney's probably going to want to get Haglund a game, at least one game.
Yeah,
you'd think, in order to at least have him be an option come playoff time. What happens if Haglund steps in and just 2 straight games, great performance, shows speed, shows no ill signs from the knee injury, winning aerial battles, just dominates.
And then he may well do, because he was arguably TFC's best defender before that first injury.
The first 2 months of the season, he was TFC's best defender. That was before Chris Mavinga really got going. Drew Moore with a heart issue.
Right.
Nick Haglund goes into that Columbus match, which they actually lost, and was fantastic.
Yeah. I think Zavaleta will play. I think Greg Vanney really likes Zavaleta. The one thing he always talks about with Zavaleta is his one-on-one ability. And so I think you go into the playoffs and you potentially have matchups with guys like Piatti, who else? Akam in Chicago, and I think Zavaleta will be the guy he wants playing on that right side. So that, because Mavinga has been so much better over the past few months than he started, I think Haglund is probably going to be the odd man out regardless of how he plays.
But it's good to have him in reserve.
For sure, and there's something you can do with Haglund longer term, which is maybe start to groom him in Drew Moore's place.
Yeah. So. The scariest playoff path. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I've actually it seems to change all the time, because while I thought Atlanta was going to come on towards the end of the year, and I predicted them to finish as high as second or third, because of this home form. I hadn't really mentioned them as being in TFC's way in the playoffs, because I was just looking at the teams like New York Red Bulls I thought were going to be tough. But when you look at it now, that supporters shield is going to be nice for TFC to win, to celebrate with fans. But it's also nice because it looks like they're going to avoid New York City or Atlanta until the conference semifinals or the conference finals.
Yeah.
Because they're going to face probably they're going to face Columbus or Chicago or New York Red Bulls likely in their first series. What's their scariest path to you?
It would probably be the Impact in the semi-finals, and then I would say
James Grassi said that too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're the toughest opponent, but I think if you're doing the path as a whole, I think it would be Montreal and then Atlanta for me.
Would you have said that if Montreal had not come in and won 5-3 at BMO Field just now? I don't think Montreal is that good of a team.
Possibly not. I think if TFC plays well, they beat Montreal. But I think if TFC don't play well, Montreal have the ability to punish that as much as anyone, maybe bar Atlanta.
Yeah, I think the path I see right now is I think they're going to probably get Columbus in that first series.
That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, and then it's going to come down to probably New York City or Atlanta, I think. And I think you want to avoid Atlanta. I don't think you want to go down to Atlanta where they've been that good and they get out and they run on that field. So
it's nice to have a preview there in a game that probably won't matter that much to TFC at least. Well, it could for the points record, but
that'll be interesting to see how they handle that too. Because do you want to rest guys in that last game and maybe go into the playoffs slightly out of form, or do you want to just roll into it? They're going to be coming off. I mean, the schedule is not that tough right now.
No, and they have like 8 or 9 days, I think, between that game and the first playoff game they'll play.
And if I'm a player, we go down to Atlanta. I want to play in that game because I want to know what it feels like in case you have to come back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my thought.
Well, who do you have coming out of the West then?
Out of the West,
just say TFC gets the MLS Cup
in terms of finalists. Yeah, I would say the Whitecaps would be very interesting. I can't really go past Sporting Kansas City, I don't think.
I said if the Whitecaps come to BMO Field, it's going to be. I really feel like it's going to be a 4-0 game, a 4-0 final.
It could be. I think they're a little bit underrated, the Whitecaps, just because they've, everyone talks about Seattle and Portland in that conference, and they've kind of, they've been there for a while now, and they could well win that conference.